Link engaged.
Visit us at TeamSpeak.com.
So, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, meine Damen und Herren, señores y señoras, welcome back. It is game number 4 here. It is the finals. It is Team Liquid, TeamSpeak Open number 4. It is Tal'Darim the map. It is RaNgeD as the purple Protoss in the bottom right. It is ZeNEXYong as the orange Protoss in the bottom left. And now we in game number 2 we saw a match on Kura's Plateau. And on Shakura's Plateau I was talking about that for certain maps you need to use certain strategies in PvP. And now Tal'Darim is the 4-gate map number 1. If you're not going 4-gate in Protoss vs Protoss on Tal'Darim, you are in a lot of trouble. Now for those of you who might not be aware, why is this actually the map to 4-gate in Protoss vs Protoss? The answer to this is that when you take a look at the natural expansion of each main base, there are no ramps. There is no low ground, no high ground. So if you have just some stalkers, some zealots, and you move in and you attack, you are able to attack your opponent right away. You don't need some high ground vision to go for some damage. Force fields are not too effective because the entrance to your main base is quite big, so it's just about 4-gating and who does the better 4-gating, of course. Sometimes there are some weird cannon rushes involving, but since both players are going for a standard gateway opener, this is not going to happen. Now, ZeNEXYong is already having his simulator halfway done. RaNgeD only starting his run right now. Of course, there are different variations of the 4-gate. Back in the days before the patch change with the warp gate technology, needing 160 seconds, needing 140 seconds instead of 160 seconds like it is right now. Even the Korean 4-gate was quite popular, chrono boosting these warp gate research out as fast as possible. So get some zealots in your opponent and you just build pylons directly in his face, directly in front of him, and there sometimes was nothing your opponent could do about this. This is a thing of the past. Most of the time, of course, in the lower league this is still happening, but there are 2 variations basically which are super common: the 3 stalker rush in transition to a 4-gate, or just the plain 4-gate. You get a gateway, you chrono boost the cybernetics core, and then you pop just gateway number 2, 3, and 4 up on the map. So we have to see how this is going to turn out. When we take a look at Nexus from RaNgeD, 55 energy, nothing left. And when we take a look at the Nexus of ZeNEXYong, he just used another chrono boost, so the energy for both guys was basically the same, and all the energy is invested into the chrono boost, so having this warp gate technology out as fast as possible is a very crucial thing to have. Now, we didn't see RaNgeD go for a 4-gate in the previous PvP, so I'm really curious how his Protoss vs Protoss 4-gate is actually going to turn out. Now, ZeNEXYong is adding gateway number 2, 3, and 4 here in the back of his mineral line right away. There we can see it. And ZeNEXYong is also slightly faster with the warp gate research, about 15 seconds. Of course, sometimes you had to add a little bit of seconds, or sometimes you have to distract a little bit of seconds. Because of the chrono boost being used or not being used. When you compare those against each other, RaNgeD is also going for gateway number 2, 3, and 4. The gateway timing and the warp gate timing is a little bit faster for ZeNEXYong, so ZeNEXYong needs to go for some aggression, and he is actually going for some aggression. But this pylon he's having over here at the 2nd expansion by RaNgeD is taken out, so ZeNEXYong build another pylon, and this is what he's doing right now. 2 more pylons being built by him at this very moment. RaNgeD got 2 stalkers and a zealot compared to just 1 stalker and 1 zealot by ZeNEXYong. Still, those 2 pylons can warp in, allow ZeNEXYong to warp in some units right away. There he's going for the first bunch of stalkers, so the 4-gate on 4-gate action is happening right now. There is ZeNEXYong moving in with his forces. No, not just yet, pulling away for just a second, and ZeNEXYong is doing this quite often. Not 100% sure about the success rate. He most of the time is only attacking if he's absolutely sure that he will be able to do some damage. Now take a look at the stalkers of RaNgeD. He is arranging those stalkers pretty well. and having the Zealots at the front to soak up the damage of its cause always a good thing to have. Now, it's Zealots and Zealots, Stalkers and Stalkers. Of course, you most of the time need to focus the opponent Stalkers, then the opponent Zealots, and looks like Young here with the Sentry, not so sure what's the deal with the Sentry, going for a force field, not being able to block those units for quite a long time now. Young lost couple of units more, still not too many. RaNgeD having a couple more, one single more Zealot, having one more Stalker in his army composition, looking slightly better right now. Here are the forces once again engaging. RaNgeD able to take out a Stalker, taking out another Stalker, meanwhile only losing one, and this Fairgate is way and way more going in favor of RaNgeD, and RaNgeD is actually taking game number 3 because game number 4, I'm sorry, because GG is called, and looks like RaNgeD is actually able indeed to go for the comeback. And well, I have to say, it was played out nicely. He was getting his units in the perfect position. He was able to just do a little bit more damage, and he was one thing doing which Young was not doing. He was focusing on the opponent's Stalkers with his own Stalkers. Meanwhile, the Stalkers of Young were only attacking the Zealots, because Zealots actually do survive more damage from Stalkers than Stalkers do survive shots from Stalkers, because yeah, those Stalkers do additional damage against armored units, and the Zealot is a light armored unit, the Stalker is a heavy armored unit, so that's why, oh yeah, the Stalker is not so good at killing Zealots as it actually is as killing Stalkers. Now, we are going into game number 5 pretty soon, so right after this we will be back with the ace match here for the Team Liquid Open number 24.